for the future, please do the bathroom duties a good few minutes before the starting time.
Will do, and my apologies, Chair. I never thought you were already seated, so
If I say 1:30, we usually come in 2 minutes before the time.
I apologize profusely, Chair.
But this time we came in at 1:30, so
I really apologize, Chair.
apology accepted, General.
Thank you, Chair. It won't happen again, Chair.
Thank you.
General, before the adjournment, I was asking about whether you're aware of any prescripts that govern the SAPS and sharing of information, confidential information.
Yes, Chair. I am aware. Chair.
Were you aware at the time when you did share this information?
I was aware, Chair, but to as far as I'm concerned, I was aware that a confidential document that is already out in the public space is not really, it doesn't carry the same weight as if it is not in the public space. Because once the cat is out of the sack, it doesn't carry the same weight. It's no longer really as confidential as it is.
Is that according to your prescripts?
It is the way it is.
And would you agree that if a story is in the public domain, so, a journalist writing about that there's an audit, that this journalist is aware that an audit has been conducted and that recommendations have been made, but there's a delay in acting on the recommendations, but doesn't actually circulate the journalist, or the article doesn't actually contain the audit report itself, right? If it doesn't do that, in those circumstances, is it appropriate? Is it still in the public domain? And can you still circulate it?
Once it is with the journalist, it's already in the public domain.
Once the report is with the journalist.
Yeah, and especially when the journalist is using it and to make inquiries, the confidentiality thereof is already broken.
But if the journalist hasn't circulated it in the public domain, so journalists often come across confidential documents that they report on, but they don't share the actual documents. So if the actual document is not shared, you're saying it doesn't matter, the fact that it's known.
From the user, who was supposed to keep it secret, the user, the only person who marked it, and then they use it to the National Commissioner or to me or to any other person who is part of the discussion or to whose attention it must go. That person, those people remain confidential. It remains a confidential document. But the moment it's let out now to a journalist, and the journalist who's beginning to make inquiries about it, already the confidentiality is broken. So now, as far as I'm concerned, there was nothing wrong on my part to share with a colleague of the same organization on a document whose confidentiality has already been broken.
Ordinarily, that would make sense somewhat. But in this instance, it cannot. In this instance, rather, it cannot, because you've already accepted when I engaged you earlier that here you actually foresaw that probably Sergeant Bosi would share this document with Mr. Matlala. You accept that?
Chair, please make me understand the question.
When I
hear the question, I'm just trying to
yes.
understand properly, Chair.
When I engaged you earlier, do you remember asking that? You did realize that in all probability, Sergeant Nkosi would share this document with Mr. Madlanga because of their proximity. Do you remember saying so when I engaged you?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. So now I'm saying your response to Ms. Hasim cannot make sense because you cannot say this was sharing between two police officers. I say this wouldn't make sense here because you actually foresaw the probability, not even just possibility, the probability of Sergeant Nkosi sharing this document with Mr. Madlanga. You've already admitted it, so...
No, if the chair say, I foresaw that you will share it with Mr. Madlanga,
yes,
it's something else. But...
Okay, maybe let me take out foresee and use words that are as close as possible to what I said when I engaged you before the tea break. I said probably Sergeant Nkosi, on your understanding of the proximity between Sergeant Nkosi and Mr. Madlanga, Sergeant Nkosi would probably share this document with Mr. Madlanga. You accepted that before the tea break, correct? Be careful not to change what you said earlier.
No.
You accepted that probability.
No, Chair. Remember, Chair, even if I said that initially, it doesn't mean that in everything that follows that I shall have shared with Nkosi, it means that everything was meant to be shared with
please don't try to anticipate where I'm going. Please don't try to anticipate. Do you accept that before the tea break, you accepted the probability that Sergeant Nkosi would share the document with Mr. Madlanga? Do you accept that?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. So now what I'm saying is you cannot now, in response to Ms. Hasim, say this was sharing subs officer to subs officer because you've already accepted that there was a probability that the document would be shared with Mr. Madlanga. So you cannot just stop at sharing subs officer to subs officer because there is the probability that you accept. Is that correct?
It's correct, Chair.
It must be. Yes, Ms. Hassan.
Thank you, Chair.
I
mean, what makes it problematic?
Can I add one thing to what Chair has said? The other thing about this document is that it concerned Mr. Madlanga himself. It concerned Mr. Madlanga's company. So it's different from any other documents. This one, the expectation would be that because it is dealing with Mr. Madlanga's company, Captain Nkosi would share it with him. You must have expected that.
Can I ask, Chair? You know, Chair, if we are close, maybe in this case, Chair, I want to say if I'm close with maybe the three commissioners, and one of you, of the commissioners, is very close to a particular person, and then we know that here is something that we're reading on the news about this person. And then I say, hey, see what is coming or what is happening on this person because it's from the newspaper. This is what is going to be on Sunday newspaper, City Press and whatever. It has become a norm or normal for people to share something they see about a specific person. Many people see a lot of things about me. Sometimes they share it with my wife. Sometimes they will share among themselves. But others know that it will reach me. So I must just accept, Chair, that it happened. It may be reckless or negligent or an oversight, but it happened that way. And I don't know now, this time I must say, to as far as I'm concerned, it is just that the risk is not as I was sharing it myself in a meeting, from a meeting that I was sitting in to Mr. Madlanga. It was a question of now, it comes from the journalist, it's already in the public, the cat is already out now. Sharing it with a colleague really wouldn't carry the same risk as the original risk.
Can I say
the answer yes? I think before we leave this, the answer must be yes. You had no reason to believe that he won't share it with Mr. Madlanga.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
you see, General, here's my difficulty with your insistence about sharing between police officers. I would understand your point if you had shared with Sergeant Zulu of Matatia, whom you knew not to have any connection whatsoever with Mr. Madlanga. I would understand your point. But here you knew that you were sharing with Sergeant Kosi, who has a certain proximity with Mr. Madlanga, and you have accepted that there was, to your knowledge, a probability that Sergeant Kosi would share with Mr. Madlanga. That's the difficulty I have with your insistence about sharing between subs member and subs member. You may comment if you wish to. I made the point earlier and you accepted it. I was just making a follow-up to, again, your response to my colleague, Commissioner Kumalo.
Since the chair said I may comment if I so wish to, can I take this opportunity to comment?
Yes.
Chair, just to say that if I shared it with a Sergeant Zulu from somewhere that I don't know, it should be concerning. Why did you share it with Zulu? Because you're not. Why? What would be the reason with Zulu? Why Zulu? But now with
that actually buttresses my point. Then that doesn't assist you.
I'm trying to come somewhere there, Chair.
All right.
But with Nkosi, I do know that he knows Mr. Madlanga,
yes.
And that is maybe probably why I sent it to him. But if at the ultimate chair, the chair is going to rule, and then and even when the chair, the assess evidence is in the chair's hands, so it doesn't really matter. What mine is just to accept that the chair's pointings, I must also regard it as guidance.
Yeah, let's leave it at your acceptance. More than once, your acceptance that there was, to your knowledge, a probability that Sergeant Kosi would share with Mr. Madlanga. Yes, Mr. Asim.
Sir, can I just ask my question? General, if it was in the public domain, as you say, why would you need to share it with Sergeant Kosi? He has access to the same public space as you.
It's because, Commissioner, it's because at that point in time, I think, because it was at a point where it was still between whoever sent it to the journalist and myself. And then I think this is what could have happened because it was not yet in the Sunday newspaper.
No, but you couldn't have thought that, General, because you got the question from the journalist, you forwarded it to generals, and there was a response to it, responding to the journalist, Mr. Mashiko, from your Ms. Nonkululeko Pokane, and all of that you forwarded to Sergeant Nkosi. So you knew the sub's communication was dealing with it. So your answer can be that because it was still between whoever and the journalist, you knew that the subs is officially dealing with it. And so that cannot be a reason. You couldn't have shared it for the sake of sharing it. You have to be sharing it for another reason because you knew that the subs is dealing with it.
Commissioner, I thought I responded when I said because it was with the journalist already, even though I knew SAPS was dealing with it, SAPS was responding. And the fact that it was with the journalist and SAPS responded to it, it's already in the public space. if it was not the same topic, a different topic within a report, from my angle I would understand. But now we are talking about one and the same thing that was sent to a journalist, the journalist from the journalist to the subs communications. Now subs communications have communicated. Now I know that this thing is already public because it's gonna come. Normally when they run the story, they don't wait for Sunday, they also run it online. So that is what I'm saying.
No, but exactly my point. It is already in the public domain. Sergeant Nkosi has access to the same public domain. Why do you need to send it to him unless you thought this is still internal, which is the problem that is being discussed with you, that you thought it is internal, he's not aware of it, and so you share with him to alert him to something that is still internal. That's the one possibility. But going with your version, which is, well, it was in the public domain, so I was free to share it. I did nothing wrong because it was already out there. It necessarily raises the question, well, if it's in the public domain, as you say, why are you sharing it with Sergeant Nkosi? Because he has access to the same public domain. Remember, your story is, it was in the public domain. This report that is marked confidential, you say it was already in the public domain. So, you either correct it was in the public domain, and I'm going to ask you, why do you say it was in the public domain? So you're either correct it was in the public domain, in which case you have to have had a good reason why you're sharing it with Sergeant Nkosi, because it is in the public domain, this confidential document. Or it wasn't in the public domain, that's why you share it with Sergeant Nkosi. And you share it with the expectation he will share with Mr. Matlala. In fact, I want to place it higher than that you share it with the anticipation that he will share it with Mr. Matlala. But let me go back and break it up. Why do you share it with Sergeant Nkosi if it is in the public domain already?
I think to be fair, people circulate messages, TikTok messages that are in the public domain, but they share them anyway among one
General,
another.
I'm not talking about people and I'm not talking about messages in general. I think you have to answer directly the question, because otherwise we end up losing a lot of time.
Okay.
My question is a direct question. You send a document marked confidential. It's an SAPS document. You say, but it was in the public domain. And I engage you on that basis to say, well, if it's in the public domain, why did you send it to Sergeant Nkosi, who has access to the same public space?
The point I'm also trying to raise, Commissioner, is that when there is a message that is being circulating, that is out in the public domain, people share them anyway.
General, you're avoiding to answer my question. Let me ask you my next question. Why do you say this was in the public domain? Where do we see that it was in the public domain?
As far as I'm concerned, if I'm not the author of this document, and none of us knew about this document, but this document found itself where the confidentiality has been broken, sent to a particular journalist.
Why do you say that? Why do you say this document was sent to a journalist? We have the question that was sent to you, and maybe let me try and move it forward. The question doesn't include an attachment of this document. So you do have the question from Mr. Mashiko. It doesn't have an attachment to it.
Commissioner, can I just add to that before you pose a question?
Sorry, Chair.
So I just want to draw something to your attention.
I want to raise a point as well that I want to raise. You know, Chair, Commissioner Baloyi asked me a question, and whilst I'm responding to the question, just to proceed, then jumps in and then say, no, General, then takes it further and continue on this one. Now I'm trying to also respond, then just as I'm listening to this one, then she comes in and says, just on the same point. All I'm asking is, let me not be overwhelmed by the fact that now respond to this, and then all the communicators. Commissioner Baloyi, I'm trying to be fair to you as well, as you are the person who's here to ask me questions and probe. I must respond, but I'm just asking one favor. That when you ask me a question, allow me to respond and finish as well.
Yes. General, I gave you a chance to answer my question. I asked you the same question twice, thrice, and you're telling me about how people communicate and distribute things, even after I said to you, don't tell me about how other people communicate. Don't tell me about other things that get distributed. Tell me about this which we are discussing. You were repeating, we don't have the whole day. I have only limited time to ask you questions. I accept your answer. If you don't want to answer a question and you prefer to go the long way, I don't think you have a license to be indulged to speak as long as you want and to answer irrelevant things. I didn't ask you about what people do. I asked you about your explanation for distributing this to Sergeant, because it's a direct question. And if you repeat it the third time, I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow you to keep on doing that. And you can keep complaining about me. I will ask you my questions. I'm going to repeat my question before we get to Ms. Hassan. General, I'm going to ask you my question again. And I will interrupt you if you don't give me a direct answer. My question to you is, this document that you say you circulated, you gave to Sergeant Nkosi because it was in the public domain. My question to you is, if it is in the public domain to which Sergeant Nkosi has access to, why do you send him this document? That's my question. That's my first question to you. So maybe try and answer, and we'll come back to Ms. Hassan on my second question.
My question is this, Chair. If the document is already out there in the wild, I take it that the cat is already out of the
like the impalas.
Of the sack. You see, I don't want to say. I don't want to say she's being arrogant, but she's
just making a joke.
No, you started it, but Chair, we need to really respect each other and try to be modest with one another in a platform like this and be professional. So if she goes that way, I'm going to take the different route as well, and it's not what we want. So please give me the same respect as well, and let's do it professionally. Now, my answer is, sharing it internally with colleagues wouldn't really be carry the same risk as it was initially. So I have shared it with Nkosi. If the chair rules that I wasn't supposed to, I will accept that as well, Chair, without me having to go deeper into the subject. If I was not supposed to have, as far as I'm concerned, it was out in the public space, and sharing it with a colleague wouldn't carry the same weight as if it never was.
Okay, let me ask my second question then. Why do you say this document was in the public domain?
Like I indicated earlier, that the moment from the writer to the journalist and to the communicators already, and then back to the journalist, already the cat is out of the sack.
Okay. We have the question from the journalist here. It doesn't include an attachment, so we know that this document was not, at least from this message, the document was not attached to the question addressed to you. Why do you say it was in the public domain if it wasn't attached to the question?
Personally, this document, this one, I never got it myself because I still don't have a report even now. So this document, the questions of the journalists, I think, relates to this, if I'm sure. But I'm not so sure because I don't have anything that I can refer to myself. I'm just following the line of questioning with what I see. So I say these questions were already in the public space because there are those that I can show the report.
Okay, let me stop you. Maybe you have answered me. You are saying these questions were in the public domain. You're not saying the document was in the public domain. Because that's what you've just said now. You've just said these questions were in, I never got the document myself. That's what you say. You say, I never got the document myself. These questions were in the public domain. So I want to clarify so that I'm not unfair to you. You are saying these questions, when you say it was in the public domain, you mean these questions were already in the public domain. Is that what you mean?
As you were asking a question, Commissioner Baloyi, I was in my mind. I was thinking of a report of the Inspector General of Intelligence on allegations against, where he mentioned allegations on individuals, but it was out in the public domain. But in the meantime, you were asking, so I missed the question.
My question is, and it's on the back of what you've just said. You've said now, these questions, in fact, you've said two things. You've said you yourself never received this report, this audit report. That's one thing you say. And then you say, these questions from the journalist were in the public domain. So I'm seeking to clarify, therefore, that when you've been engaging with the chair, with Commissioner Khumalo, with Ms. Hassim, and you say it was in the public domain, you mean the questions were in the public domain. Is that what you meant?
Yes, Chair. And the other concern that I'm just having on this document, I wanted to see whether is it a forwarded message also to me, or where does it come from? Because it's just a clean page but you don't see that it come from a particular.
Do this, General. Pull out that page, and then go to page 232. But remember to put it back once you've answered the question.
Go to page.
Pull out that audit report recommendations page.
Yeah, to page.
And then go to page 232 in the same file. That's where your WhatsApps are.
So, General, if you go to page 232, and this would have assisted you, I was trying to assist you earlier when I said, let me add something here. If you look at those messages, go to page 232. Okay? You'll see that there's a string of messages that are sent to you. The first is the query by the journalist, and that's in chat number 4. The second is in chat number 5, and this, which we dealt with, I took you to this, from Major General Pokani. She says, "Good morning, General, Lieutenant Generals." So she is only addressing herself now to the senior management, right, within the service. And she says, kindly find the above media query received. I will engage the relevant division, etc. And then over the page we went, and she says, she forwards then the message, her response to Mr. Mashefo. You see that, number 1? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, you're following the thread that I'm taking you to, because it's a set of messages that Major General Pokane forwarded to you. including this one, which her response to the journalist. She says it's an internal matter and we reserve our comments. And then finally an attachment, and that's in number 2, chat number 2, if on page 233, if you have a look at it. Right?
Yes.
Now, because that is hard to read, the attachment needs to be, it's an attachment, as you know, to a chat. And so what you're looking at, the big page, is that image. Okay, so this was forwarded by General Pukane. And she's sending it to the senior management, general and lieutenant generals, because she obviously wants you to be put in a position to understand where these questions are coming from.
Are we able to see to who of the senior management was this sent to?
We don't know. All we know is that she sent it to Good Morning General and Lieutenant Generals. So I suppose all of the Lieutenant Generals would have received it, and the General.
Well, I'm not sure to say all the lieutenant generals, because to all the lieutenant generals, even the one in the provinces are lieutenant generals. So I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sure it was at head office that this was being dealt with.
But General Sibiya, we know it was sent to you. So
from
let's not worry about 20 other generals. From this, we can tell that it's been sent to you. So you are one of the generals, however many. Maybe there were 5, maybe there were 10, maybe there were 15. The point is, you were one of the recipients. And that's how it finds its way into these chats that we are looking at. So let's not go to the northwest. Let's stick to where we are.
I wanted to check where is a good morning Lieutenant General, so in Lieutenant Generals, whether my name is there.
General Sibiya, just looking at these chats, we can see that it reached you because you sent it to Captain Ngozi.
Yeah.
You wouldn't send it to Captain Ngozi if you didn't have it. Sergeant Ngozi, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, because the only way you can send it to Sergeant Ngozi is if you have it. If you don't have it, you can't send it to him.
No, it's why I'm asking. It could have also been forwarded to me, not necessarily coming from Ms. Pukane, General Pukane. It could have been also sent to me, but nevertheless, I take the point. Commissioners, I can respond to the next question or your question.
What I'm putting to you is that What I'm putting to you is that Major General Pukane sent you the attachment. And it seems she probably sent it to all of the senior management. So why do you say it was in the public domain? This didn't come from the journalist to you.
I don't know. I don't know whether I received it from a journalist or from Major Pukane, but I will accept that I received it from Pukane. If I received it maybe from General Pukane, and obviously having received an inquiry from the public, from an inquiry from the journalist, and maybe I shared it with Ngozi. To me, I never intended it to go there or for him to disseminate. But if he did share it, I will also accept that one.
Okay, I think we've already covered the ground of you sharing. You knew that he would communicate with Mr. Matlala, and the worrying thing, which is where I wanted to go to with this, is that you are sending a document that is about the cancellation of a contract with a service provider to Sergeant Nkosi, knowing it will get to that service provider. So it's not just any member of the public that's receiving it. It's the person who is affected by that internal SAPS document. And that's the concern. Do you see that?
I do.
I'm going to move off this to, well, not entirely off it, because what happens next is you'll see that, let's get the right page, it's file 9, I'm afraid.
I don't know if you are still going to touch on this, and if you are, please stop me, Ms. Hassim. General, to my mind, the timing of this is quite important because the contract was cancelled in June of 2025. May of 2025. I'm thinking of the award. The award was in June of the previous year. So the cancellation was in May 2025. And these chats are in March of 2025. So in a situation where you see the probability of these documents, these chats, these communications reaching Mr. Madlanga through Sergeant Nkosi, you were basically sharing, and I suggest this to you, you were basically sharing with Sergeant Nkosi to alert Mr. Madlanga as to what was happening. And what was happening, with hindsight now, eventually resulted in the cancellation of the contract. So you are upfront alerting Mr. Madlanga through Sergeant Nkosi. You are basically saying, hey, be aware, there's trouble brewing. That is what I'm suggesting to you.
I'm just trying to read what is contained in the page 300.
The audit report suggests that there were irregularities in the award of the contract.
Yes.
So naturally, that can quite easily lead to the cancellation of the contract.
In fact, it says it should.
In fact, that audit report says in so many words that there should be a termination. So I'm suggesting to you that you were indirectly alerting Mr. Madlanga through Sergeant Nkosi that, look, there's trouble brewing here.
In my case, Chair, I was not indirectly informing Mr. Madlanga, I was sharing with Nkosi. That is what I can say.
I will leave it at that because you've already accepted when I engaged you earlier that, to your knowledge, there was a probability that through Sergeant Nkosi, these communications would end up reaching Mr. Madlanga. I will leave it at that.
General, can you go to file 9, page 1040, please?
On that page?
1040. Actually, it starts at 1039. Can we start there? It's at the bottom of 1039 is where it starts. It's chat number 5. Now, this is the conversation between Sergeant Nkosi and General Shibiri. What happens here is Sergeant Nkosi forwards the same set of messages we've already read that came from General Pukani. Okay? The four messages, including the attachment of the last page of the audit report. I just want to make sure you see that.
That General Shibiri sent to Nkosi.
No. That Sergeant Nkosi sent to General Shibiri. Okay. So he now forwards what you sent him. He sends it to General Shibiri. Okay. And then you'll see at chat number 4 on page 1040. General Shibiri says, good morning when he sees this. Good morning. Is too bad.
Chat number
4.
Yes.
Is too bad. Now, I accept that this is a conversation between Sergeant Nkosi and General Shibiri, but it is a theme that seems to be emerging here of the communications between the three players that are present as at 14 September 2024. General Shibiri, yourself, and Sergeant Nkosi, and of course Mr. Madlanga in the midst of all of it. So I'm pointing out to you that here's another pattern here of communication that is now involving General Shibiri. And General Shibiri's response to this is that it's too bad. What knowledge do you have of General Shibiri's involvement with Mr. Madlanga and his interest in this contract?
I don't know if General Shibiri's got any interest in Mr. Madlanga's contract, but I do know that they know each other. Yes. But in terms of the pattern of the three of us, myself, Mr. General Shibiri, and Nkosi, I'm not so sure whether in that what was found in Nkosi's phone only included me, Shibiri, and Nkosi, and no one else. Because now a picture has been painted here of only the 3 conspirators, 3 people only, whereas Nkosi had many others.
Accept this. On matters relating to Mr. Madlanga, the pattern that emerges from the WhatsApps is of the 3 of you. There may very well be discussions with other generals on many other things, but on matters relating to Mr. Madlanga, that's what the pattern shows. Just so that you limit it to that and we don't talk about every general except.
I don't know if the commissioner has the benefit of the communication of Mr. Nkosi's phone and any other generals.
Yes, we do.
In relation to the same matter.
Well, we have everything from Sergeant Nkosi's phone, so we do have sight into his conversations with other people, including other lieutenant generals.
So let me leave it at
you see, you send this message to Sergeant Nkosi, and you know that, let me just put it this way, that he will probably send it to Mr. Madlanga, or he may send it to Mr. Madlanga. You haven't said why you sent it to Captain Sergeant Nkosi. You say you just sent it to him. But there must be a reason why you sent it. There's an interest in that contract.
I did respond that it's because I saw something about someone that we all know.
Okay, and then the same sharing of information involves General Shibiri, and he says it's too bad. Now, one would think, I want to know if you would agree with me, that if you are a senior member of the police service and you see an audit report that raises very serious concerns, well, let me start. Do you agree that the audit report raises very serious concerns regarding Mr. Madlanga's contract?
I do.
And if the recommendations should be acted on?
Yeah, yes.
But what General Shibiri says here is it's too bad, suggesting that he has sympathy for Mr. Madlanga, rather than maybe actually outraged that Mr. Madlanga would have conducted himself in a manner that brought him within the purview of the audit in the way it did.
I'm trying to understand your question in terms of the outrage.
Well, what I'm saying is General Shibiri says it's too bad.
Yes.
Which sounds like he is sympathetic towards Mr. Madlanga's plight,
Yes.
rather than concerned for the SAPS.
Yes.
And the consequences of an all of the irregularity, right, that the audit report showed. That would be a problem, right?
Yes, but when a person says that's too bad, sometimes you empathize with a person, sometimes you sympathize with a person, sometimes it will be, it's too bad that that to happen, but if it must happen, let it happen. So this is how we responded. I mean, we don't all have a channeled way of responding or mindset that says, and this is, under this situation, this is how you must or you will react.
So you're saying that it's possible actually what General Shibiri meant here was just that this is a bad outcome?
So this is too bad. It's unfortunate.
Perhaps more importantly, General, you are very, very, very close to Sergeant Ngosi. You have told us so in your statement, and we see from the kind of material that you're exchanging and things that you're asking him to do. Why would, and I ask the question because you're quite close to Sergeant Ngosi, why would he share this that comes from you about, and all of it is about Mr. Madlanga and his contract? Why would Sergeant Ngosi share this with General Shibiri? They were all at your house, so you're clearly all close to each other. Why would he share this with Sergeant Shibiri, who is not involved in this contract?
I'm not really in a position to answer why.
I guess I'm asking you to speculate if you don't know. Why do you think communication from you? Firstly, I would expect you to be outraged that you share this stuff with Sergeant Ngosi, and now you discover it went to General Shibiri. I would expect you to be outraged about it. You are not, or at least you haven't expressed to us your disappointment, your anger with Sergeant Ngosi, that he disappointed you, he betrayed you, you haven't. So I assume you're okay with this because they're all your guests at your house, where you said Mr. Madlanga should take a 10, where General Shibiri asked, where is Madlanga? Ask Sergeant Ngosi at your house. So you're all a circle of subs people who are more than just colleagues, clearly. So you didn't give him the go-ahead. You didn't say to him, share this with Shibiri. So I'm asking you to speculate. Why do you think, now that you know he's done this, why do you think he would have shared material from you about Mr. Madlanga with General Shibiri without your authorization?
I really don't know why, and I don't think I'm in a position to speculate.
Okay, that's a fair answer. Thank you. I want to suggest that he shared it. Firstly, as the chair says, you sent all of this, and most importantly, the audit page, that final page that you shared, which was given to you by a sub-official properly. You shared it with Sergeant Ngosi, understanding and expecting that he will share it with Mr. Madlanga. He'll alert him that there's talk of termination of his contract, as the chairperson says. And you shared it with him with anticipation, and you are not surprised that he shared it with General Shibiri it fell within your expectations of who would get this kind of communication. You say you don't know why. I'm merely suggesting to you that I think that's what happened here. You can comment.
If the commissioners will then rely on that speculation, still in the hands of the chair.
It is called inferential reasoning, not speculation, General.
I was using the words that were used by the commissioner.
No, I was inviting you to speculate because you said, I don't know. And I said, okay, speculate then. And you said, I'm not doing that. And I accept your answer. I'm not going to force you to speculate. And the chair is explaining what is happening now. It is, we have these facts. As I've sketched them out, they were at your house, you invited Madlanga, you invited Shibiri to your house. Shibiri had an interest in Madlanga being there. We know from their communication where he asks Nkosi, where is Madlanga? So I've put these facts to you, and then I say, well, the conclusion to draw from that is that you knew, one, that Nkosi will alert Madlanga about Mr. Madlanga, about this audit recommendation to terminate the contract. You knew that. That's why, that's the purpose you sent this to him. Two, you expected that he will share it amongst your circle of friends, which is General Shibiri. And the chair is saying, well, that's inferential reasoning from the facts that we have.
Yes, Chair, if the chair is to make that inference, quite honestly speaking, that one is beyond my control, and I don't think it's something that I can also argue with, because the discussion all along has been consistent.
Thank you.
Can we put 9 away?
Yes, Commissioner, we're going to go to file 8 next. General, can we go to file 8, page 632? File 8. 632. Are you there, General?
It's page 632.
Yes.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, so let me just explain to you, we haven't looked at these before. This is a conversation between Sergeant Nkosi and a person saved in his phone as Bra R. Steve, and in brackets, Mswazi. When Sergeant Nkosi testified before the commission, he confirmed that Bra R. Steve is a person by the name of Steve Mutsumi. Okay. Do you know someone named Steve Mutsumi?
I do.
Who is he?
He's a businessman that I know.
He's a businessman.
Yes.
In what business?
I think he's in the business of construction, and also lending money, and then also associated with the taxi industry somehow. I don't know in what way.
Okay. How close are you to Mr. Mutsumi?
Not close.
Do you meet with him? Do you see him? Do you call him?
I think I've met him twice.
Do you recall when?
No.
Okay. Okay, so what we see on this...
Before you do that, yes, in what context and circumstances did you meet him? On both occasions that you say twice.
When I met Steve, we were working on a project, extortions in the construction, but mostly in the taxi industry. Now, I asked to meet, because the project of the taxi industry is the most dangerous one, because if you deal with what we call the bucket system, the bucket system is a system at the taxis where you find that there's certain monies that are being collected every Monday. I don't know whether it's still the Mondays or how it happens. And that money is collected and then will take into either the chairperson of the taxis, or I don't know whether it's the owner of the taxi rank or how it works. But whilst we're considering different type of extortions that we're dealing with, that we had to attend. And then we realized that, and the advice that I got was that because now you are entering into the space of the taxis, which is dangerous, you need to find a way of how can you get this thing in such a way that you can still address it without it bringing any danger to anybody, including yourself. Then
just explain what you mean by danger.
Maybe before that, General, I might have missed it. You say you were advising Mr. Mutsumi.
No, I said I was advised that before you embark on this one of the bucket system, because it's another form of, and I have a document here that explains what is a bucket system. I think I'll read it. We had it earlier, but I'll find it now.
Was this bucket system extortion? Because
it's a form of extortion as well, and then within the taxi industry. And we are receiving a lot of complaints. Some people are being killed within the taxi industry because they don't want to contribute to this. They don't agree with it. It's a form of extortion. So then, since we had to embark on this journey of fighting this bucket system, it was rather better to do it from the top in such a way that you get to understand who are the best role players that can assist you to deal with this situation. Then I asked Mr. Nkosi, who I knew very well that he knows Mr. Mswazi, that can I...
Nkosi, you mean Sergeant Nkosi?
Sergeant Nkosi.
Oh, okay.
Then he introduced me to Mr. Mswazi. Now, I went to see Mr. Mswazi.
Is that Mr. Mutsumi you're referring to?
No.
No.
Mr. Mswazi.
I'm asking because...
The late
Mswazi.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking for clarity is because in the chats, Sergeant Nkosi has Mswazi in brackets next to the name Bra R. Steve. So I just want to be clear who you're referring to when you say Mswazi.
I'm referring to Mswazi. It was known as Mswazi.
Is that Mr. Msibi?
Yes, because he's a person who was in charge of the taxi. I don't know whether to call it in charge of the taxi industry throughout the country or working with all the bigger structures throughout the country like KZN, all the provinces. But if we were to go and start challenging a system like this, when you deal with something that affects the taxi, and the words that says nothing about us without us, we had to make sure that we engage. So we went to meet with him, with Mr. Mswazi, to say we are receiving a lot of complaint on this issue. And we want to attend to this issue.
When did you meet with Mr. Mswazi?
When?
You said when we went to meet with Mr. Mswazi. When was that?
It was within the 6 months before he passed on. Because I went to meet with him, and then he explained that, look, You can't just jump into this thing that affect the taxes and you're not understanding the circumstances under which this money is being collected, because the problem is that in some instances the money is being collected to pay lawyers, to deal with certain insurances and everything. So now, he then suggested that, but I'm not well. As you can see, I'm not well. The person that I suggest that you speak to will be this one, who I meet regularly. This is the person who I meet regularly. He was talking about Steve. Now, I then said, okay, I will then speak to, he referred me to Steve. That's when I met Steve on 2 occasions. Now, to meet Steve...
So just before you move on to that, was that the only meeting you had with Mr. Msibi?
With Mr. Msibi, if I remember, yes.
Okay, you can continue.
Now, I met Mr. Msibi at that time, and then I started then meeting with Mr. Mutsumi. Mr. Mutsumi, I met twice or thrice. And why I say twice or thrice? Twice I met him at the Inanda Hotel. That's when we were discussing the issues of the taxi issues. The last one is another one where I met him now too. Is after I was also now working on these allegations that kept on coming about Mr. Matlala. That Mr. Matlala could be involved in the Mr. Boshoha's matter. I will address
kidnapping. Matter. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm very sorry, General.
Yes. So maybe I'll address that at that time. But this is how I met Mr. Steve. And then for him, it was just to advise me that, look, in a situation like this, I think I can put together a team of the senior people in the taxi industry that could advise you how a bucket system works so that you can understand it. He said to me, I'm not that deep in the taxis, but if I can put people together, this is most probably the most sensible way of dealing with this situation, rather than you going to arrest that one for the bucket system. In the meantime, you're causing a lot of fights and confusion within the taxis. That's when he said, I will organize people that can talk to you about this. That's how it happened.
Okay.
Sorry, Advocate Asim, the question you asked in relation to 632, I thought we wanted to know who Bra R. Steve, and then in brackets Mswazi is. And then General went on to explain that actually there are 2 different people. One is Mr. Mswazi Msibi, and then the other one is Stephen Mutsumi Bra Steve. What is still not clear is whose phone number this is, because it says Bra Steve and then in brackets Mswazi. So
at the outset, Commissioner, I said that it is Steve Mutsumi, and we know that because I referred to Sergeant Nkosi's evidence here that's who this is.
So we must disregard the Mswazi part in brackets.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. He explained it when he was here that this is Steve Mutsumi.
Okay.
I think when you save a number, sometimes, Chair, you find that you've got two Steve or Stevens, or for you to be able to remember a particular person, you'll also write where you know that person from.
Oh, is that the reason?
Yeah, I think so.
That's okay.
Sorry, there's just one thing. You said you mentioned 2 meetings. One at Inanda Hotel. Do you know when that was?
I said 2 at Inanda Hotel. I can't remember the dates.
Oh, 2 at Inanda.
Yeah, I'm not good with dates.
And then you said the last one related to having a discussion with him about Matlala's alleged involvement in the kidnapping.
Yes.
And how would he know about that? Why would he be of assistance to you with Mr. Matlala?
What was happening is that we were investigating this thing of Mr. Boshoga, and the teams were running all over everywhere. To an extent that they even went to Polokwane and they followed the car to Polokwane where he was going and hit a house in Polokwane. Apparently it was now at the wife's home or him, I don't know, but somewhere there. They followed and hit that place there. Every direction they were given by the family, so they were going. So in my case, I then, because I wanted to find someone who can say to me, but because when I asked the team when we were sitting like this, but the family keep on talking about Matlala, and they tell the reasons why they say Matlala. But could Matlala be involved in this thing? Because to me, he appears to be a gentleman that you see, businessman. Now, I then sought to speak to Steve, because remember, Steve knows Matlala. Because apparently Matlala was the bodyguard of Mr. Mswasi, so he will know him. Now, in my case, I wanted to know whether, do you think this man is capable of this? Can he go to this extent? And if you can talk to him, maybe even in our absence, are you able to see if he can really assist in making sure that these people if he knows about it? And it is not only about, it wasn't even only, if I remember very well, about this one alone. It was also, there was another case where
General, can you please try to be as brief as possible? It cannot be that in response to each and every question, your answers are as long as this one is. I'm not saying you should not give explanations that are necessary, but it cannot be that in respect of each answer, you are as long as you always are. Can you please try to make your responses briefer?
It's fine, Chair. It's just that she asked me under what circumstance, so I was trying to explain the circumstances. But if it's too long, I apologize, Chair, and then I'll cut it there.
Yeah. But no, please do finish your explanation.
I just wanted to say, where there was a mother and a child kidnapped, that one touched all of us. And at some point, I also heard that there was a prayer session, but I can't remember in terms of the timelines now. But I've had a meeting with the father of the missing wife and child. He also came to my office. And then the name of Matlala was also still Fishery. And then I went to discuss with Steve and said, but I mean, I've got...
When was that? When was that when this came to your knowledge and you...
I don't know the time when they came to my office, but remember there was a point where we were looking for both. And it is around that time, and both relatives were in my office. So as to when was that, I can't commit to the timelines. I'm lost.
Was it in 2024 or earlier?
It will be in 2024, I guess.
General, it sounds like then that's the fourth time you meet with Steve. Because you said the first two meetings at Inanda were about the taxi issue, and then you met him again about the Mr. Bushoka's matter, and then there is this other family kidnapping, and you had a discussion with him about it as well. That counts to 4.
I think it was both.
As in the same meeting?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I know that they didn't happen both at the same time, but Mr. Matala's name, initially the team investigated, remember it started a long time, first being investigated by Gauteng, up until the relative came, and then we jumped in, then as we started working, around that, now the team was now getting more involved in this thing. Then this other one was also kidnapped. So it is. Where I'm mixing issues. It's unfortunate on my side, but those meetings were around that.
Right. No, I think I've got that for now, and we may return to it as we go on. But this, if we go back to what we were looking at. What we see is Sergeant Nkosi, that same set of messages that came from Major General Pukane that you forwarded to Nkosi, including the audit report, gets sent to Steve Mutsumi. If you have a look at the page I referred to you, 632.
Page 632, yes.
632, and then it goes over to the top of 633. That's where the audit report was sent. Now, you were aware that Sergeant Nkosi is close to Mr. Mutsumi, right? You've said so. Did you expect that he would forward this to Mr. Mutsumi as well?
No.
These documents?
No.
Do you, and again, based on as Commissioner Beloy was asking you, your relationship with Sergeant Nkosi, why do you think he shared this information with Mr. Mutsumi, given that it has to do with Mr. Matlala's contract? What interest would Mr. Mutsumi have in this?
I wouldn't know, and Commissioners, quite honestly speaking, it's the same approach as that one of why Nkosi sent it to Mr. Matlala. So even in this case, I never expected that you will forward it there.
Just ask more directly. Did you ask or authorize Sergeant Nkosi to share this, your communication or the subs communication that you gave him, to share it with Mr. Mutsumi?
No.
Did he report to you or tell you that he is going to share or that he has shared this with you?
No.
Okay. Now that you know, you didn't authorize him to do this. Now that you know, what's your comment about it? I mean, he has shared with you, with other people, your communication that was directed just to him. I expect you must have words of disapproval or condemnation. Or you're okay with it?
Of course, I feel let down and disappointed that he did that. But it's something that already happened and that I find myself in, and it's so unfortunate for me at this point in time, but I feel let down.
Thank you.
General, do you know whether, because you've met with Mr. Mutsumi a few times, you've told us that you discussed with Mr. Matlala with him and what he knows about Mr. Matlala, etc. Do you know whether Mr. Mutsumi had any interest in Mr. Matlala's business, Medicare 24?
No, I don't know.
And you wouldn't know whether he had any interest in this particular contract?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to move to another section of these documents.
Can I just ask one question before you leave this section? Did either General Shibiri or Mr. Mutsumi come back to you and say, hey, Nkosi has shared this document with me, what is it?
It's possible with Shibiri, but with Mr. Mutsumi, I don't think so. Because he might not even have wanted me to know that Nkosi shares something with him. But with General Shibiri, it's possible. I don't say it happened, but it's possible.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, sir.
Thanks. I'll come back to Mr. Mutsumi again. But for now, can we just... whatever I'd like to take you is file 7, page 337. Do you have it?
I've got it there, Chair.
Okay, so we're back now to the chat between Sergeant Nkosi and yourself. And if you have a look at number 5, chat number 5, on 21 April 2024, Sergeant Nkosi says to you, indeed, good day, General. I think that's in response to a message, perhaps a greeting that you sent him earlier.
Yes.
He says, I have a meeting with Mtagati and others in regards to Mama issue. And you respond at 12:49 on the same day. But I also want to meet them urgently. I am sitting inside the plane to Brazil and coming back on Friday. Please arrange the meeting. We go on to 338, chat number 2. Sergeant Nkosi says, okay, when should I make appointment for the meeting? Chat number 3, you respond to say Friday night. And he says, sharp. Can you tell us who this meeting, who's Mtagati?
Mtagati, I don't know whether it's Steve. I think it's Steve. Because when they say Mtagati, I thought it's Steve because it was not the first time I hear the name of Mtagati. So I thought sometimes they call him RR, sometimes they call him Steve, sometimes Mtagati, I'm not sure. So in my mind, it was the same person.
So when Sergeant Nkosi says, I have a meeting with Mtagati and others in regards to Mama issue, you say Mtagati is Steve Mutsumi.
I don't say so. I say it could be.
Well, did you have this meeting? Because he sets it up.
No, I never had that meeting.
You never had the meeting?
Yes.
Okay. And who are the others when he says and others?
Remember that the promise was that he's going to put the meeting for me to discuss this issue of the bucket system, and then where possible, construction mafia issues. That's where it happened.
So it was Steve Mutsumi and other people from the taxi industry.
Yes.
That he was.
That is what I was expecting.
Okay, and what's the Mama issue?
I don't know.
You don't know what it is. Sergeant Nkosi says in regards to Mama issue, and you say, but I also want to meet them urgently.
Yes.
You didn't ask what is the Mama issue?
No, it could be his own private thing.
It could be his private thing.
Yes.
Okay. So he says, I want to meet them. You say, I want to meet them urgently. He says, when? Friday night. And you saying that this didn't take place, this meeting?
I think so. I don't remember meeting those taxi people.
This was in April last year. Did you meet them after April last year?
What I know, I've never met a group of people other than Steve that I've met on the occasions I said I met, because at some point we were arranging to meet, and then as we were arranging to meet, I was still held up in meetings, and at the time I said I'm on my way and I'm leaving, and they were already gone. And they said, and they said to me, no, look, we waited for too long and we couldn't wait anymore, so it didn't happen.
Let's go to that one. We're going to get to that. But before we get...
I just need clarity on the identities, Ms. Hassim. General, you appear not to be sure whom Tagati is. Is my understanding correct?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure, thank you. And although you did respond to the question as to who the others were, that is the other people referred to by Sergeant Nkosi, please just tell me again, who do you say the others were? The people that Sergeant Nkosi says he wanted to meet together with Mtakati.
My request was that...
No. I'm talking about the people Sergeant Nkosi is referring to. Who are those people?
Yes. I'm basing it on my request that I want to meet them. I was still referring to the taxi people.
No, that comes after. Who is Sergeant Nkosi referring to? Tagati and others in regards to the Mama issue. Who in response to Ms. Hassim did you say the others are? Or I should not confine you to that response. Let me just ask you broadly. Who are the others?
It's Nkosi saying and others.
Yes. Look at the chat 337, chat number 5.
I saw it.
Yes. Who are the others then?
I think Nkosi is the one who can explain that. Who were the others?
No. That poses a difficulty for you, because you then say in chat number 6, you also want to meet, open quote, them, close quote, urgently. So you know who he is talking about. So you cannot say that I should ask Sergeant Nkosi. You are referring to the same people. He is going to meet Tagati and others about the Mama issue. And you then say, I want to meet them urgently. So who are the people that you wanted to meet, and who happen to be the same people that Sergeant Nkosi wanted to meet about the Mama issue?
From where I'm sitting, because when I wanted to meet, and he said, I'm going to meet, he said them and him and others, I don't know, and I said, okay, I want to meet them urgently, but I was on my way to...
Do you accept that that obviously means that you knew who those people were? You cannot want to have an urgent meeting with people whose identities you have no idea of. So you knew who Sergeant Nkosi was talking about. It's only logical, correct?
It is correct, Chair.
So who are the people you wanted to meet then?
In my case, the only people that I know...
It cannot be other people. It must be the same people that Sergeant Nkosi wanted to meet. So it cannot be my case, all of a sudden my case, and you talk about people who may not necessarily be the same people that Sergeant Nkosi was talking about. Sergeant Nkosi says, I want to meet Mtagati and others about the Mama issue. And you say, I also want to meet them urgently. So there's a correlation. You are talking about the exact same people. So I'm asking you, who did you want to meet?
Who I wanted to meet was Steve Steve.
So does that mean that Sergeant Gosi also wanted to meet Steve?
I take it that, Chair.
And is Steve Mtagati or is Steve in the others?
And the others too, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it could be those people still of the people that I wanted to meet.
So, as at the time, Sergeant Gosi wrote this to you, did you know who he was talking about? Because now you seem not sure who he was talking about. And you appear to be talking about the people that you wanted to meet, who might not necessarily have been the same people that Sergeant Gosi is talking about. Am I making sense?
The chair is making sense.
Yes. Now, as at the time, Sergeant Gosi wrote this to you, did you know the people that he was saying, I want to meet Mtagati and these people? Did you know who he was referring to at the time?
Chair, I can't really think at that time who was it, but
all right, they could. You say, but they could. Please finish your sentence.
Sir, what I know, the people that I would always want to meet was...
No. I'm saying as at the time, did you know those that Sergeant Gosi wanted to meet? Let's park you on the side for a minute. Did you know, as at the time, did you know the people that Sergeant Gosi wanted to meet? You've already said you've already given an answer, and I think you said you are not sure.
Yes, I'm not sure, Chair, but why I'm saying I'm not sure, I do know that I was going to meet Steve. I've said let's park you on the side for a minute. I'm talking about Sergeant Gosi. Do you not know now, or did you not know at the time, as to the people that Sergeant Gosi was referring to? Do you get the difference? At the time, I didn't know.
You did not know?
Yes.
Why did you not ask him? Why did you say, who on earth are you talking about?
I really didn't know. As I was saying, maybe I was in a flight now to Brazil. I think I was going on official duties. But when I say I want to meet them,
you want to meet them being people that you did not know, whose identities you did not know at the time. I want to meet them. I don't even know who they are, but I want to meet them. Is that what you are telling us?
No.
What are you telling us?
What I'm trying to tell the chair is that I know that when you spoke about Mtagati, in my mind it was Steve, or it was Steve in my mind.
Did you know Steve to be known as Mtagati?
Interchangeably so. Sometimes he spoke about Mtagati, sometimes he spoke about RR, sometimes he spoke about Steve. So there were many names, sometimes referring to the same person. So I don't know if there are different people. I'm not so sure, because I can't point out a person by the name of Steve.
How then should I understand your earlier response, which was that you were not sure who Mtagati is, and that you also did not know who the others were? If now you say you know Steve to be also referred to as Mtagati, how should I take your earlier response? Or how should I understand your earlier response?
I'm lost a little bit, yeah?
Earlier you said that, and I think that was one of my earlier questions, and I was asking it on the back of a response you had given to Ms. Hassim, and I asked you, are you saying that you are not sure who Mtagati is? Do you remember saying you were not sure?
I'm not sure.
Yes. Now all of a sudden you appear to be sure. You say that Steve is also referred to as Mtagati. And also as, did you say R as well?
Yeah,
also as R.
Chair, I'm not saying with absolute certainty the first time I hear. Now, when he says I'll be meeting Mtagati and others, in my mind, it came as, sometimes they can call you this name, but also call you Mtagati. So it came like that to me. So I'm not saying it's the same person. Where I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. That there are two different individuals. I'm just saying, to me, it's how it came about.
All right. To cut this short, General, I will suggest this to you, and please respond at the end. I will suggest to you that in ordinary communication, you would only say that I want to meet those people urgently if you know, or if you knew the identities of those people. I'm going to meet Mtagati and others about the Mama issue. And then you say, I also want to meet them urgently. In ordinary communication, you would only say that if you know the identities of those people. Otherwise, it simply does not make sense. I suggest that to you. Your response?
My response, Chair, is that when I said, okay, it's because he said, I want to meet Mtagati and others. And then I knew he was referring to the same person or people who would be with, and say, I would want to meet them when I come back. And when I say them, I was referring to Steve and those that we agreed that is going to arrange for me. So I wasn't really.
Had you made an arrangement to have a meeting about the Mama issue?
No.
So Sergeant Nkosi was going to meet people about the Mama issue. Are you suggesting that the people that he was going to meet about the Mama issue were the same people that you wanted to meet?
No. In my case, he was just telling me that he's going to meet them.
About the Mama issue?
It's fine.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yes.
That I'm going to meet them about the Mama issue.
Yes.
He will be the one to explain about the Mama issue.
Then how do those people become the same people that you wanted to meet? The people that he wants to meet about the Mama issue, how do they become the same people that you want to meet about something else altogether?
I'm not, from where I'm sitting, I'm not connecting the Mama issue.
Exactly.
Where I'm sitting, I'm not connecting the Mama issue with the meeting that I wanted to have.
Exactly.
So I'm saying I also want to meet them as soon as possible.
Them being people that he is meeting about the Mama issue, and you want to meet these people about something else. Is that not correct?
Yes.
Where's the correlation? How do they become the same people?
It's just that I'm trying to explain that as Sergeant goes, you are telling me about something, and I say, but I also want to meet them urgently on something else.
Thank you, General.
Can I raise another possibility that you can think about during lunch, General? I know it's lunchtime, about this engagement, and we can discuss it when we come back. There are two possibilities in this statement, and the chair, in this exchange, and the chair has discussed with you the one possibility. The other is that you didn't know these people, as you say, you're telling us. You didn't know them, but you wanted to meet whoever he's discussing the Mama issue with. So it's about the Mama issue. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. There are two possibilities. You either knew whom Tagati is and the others, and you wanted to meet them for whatever business. Or if we go with your version where you say, I didn't know who these people are, but I wanted to meet them urgently because that's what your message says, then the emphasis is on the mama issue, that you knew what the mama issue is and you wanted to meet whomever he was meeting to discuss the mama issue. You understand the distinction I'm drawing? Yeah, I think we can discuss it when we come back because I'm also interested in the discussion.
Let's adjourn and, according to my co-commissioners, come back at 2:10. Let's adjourn.